Usually it warns you before you get the hour. I guess I lost track of time.
That flew by.
It did. Okay, so let's kind of. So I asked Avery. I said, as everyone joins here, we'll kind of talk for a second as people keep joining back again. But all of a sudden it just ended. I'm like, oh crap, that was an hour. I joked to my friends earlier tonight. They said, how long are you going to be on this, you think? I said, probably an hour, 30 minutes each. I'm like, but who knows? And then I joked. I said, maybe 2 hours. And sure enough, I don't know. Okay, so we were just talking about this with Avery. You're coming to the church, all that stuff. What is there a particular saint that you feel an affinity to? You were getting ready to answer that question when it went off.
So, I mean, there's so many things I had to learn. Getting into like specific saints hasn't really been like a pressing issue for me, I guess. There was one specific saint that Megan and I talked about a long time ago, like when we just first started talking, who I think I think he's the patron saint for men struggling with masturbation or pornography or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know his name, but
there are a lot of those, so it could be anybody.
How do you pick that? Like
So here's the thing I'll tell you. So real quick, we'll have a little of a catechesis thing here. All right. You don't pick these people; they pick you. It's the weirdest thing. Like we were talking about, you saw with Megan. I'm not joking with you. You think I'm crazy? These saints, they are obviously we believe they're in heaven. That's why they're saints. Yeah. And they have a way of coming about in your life that's kind of crazy. And if you're not Catholic, it's hard to understand because we're talking about people that are dead, but they're alive in Christ. Right. But no, the thing is, if you don't have any saint that's like pulling on your heart right now, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're less Catholic yet, or it doesn't mean any of that stuff. Okay. It just means that yours hadn't made themselves known. But once they do,
well, I mean, maybe they have. I just don't know what I'm looking for.
You'll know. It was like that whole thing. Did you watch that little interaction with her and I about Maria Goretti? This saint is like every day is in my life.
Really?
Yes, it's crazy. And so I don't know if I'll reiterate it again for those that are coming in now. But I have a particular friend. I'm working on some things to get for this friend, particularly Maria Goretti kind of gifts. And someone offered to make a chaplet for him and his struggles. And he sends me a picture of the rosary or the chaplet that was done to send off. And there's a quote from Maria Goretti. And then I look closely, and the medal that he chose is Maria Goretti. Yeah. And there are a ton of saints that are the patron saints of celibacy, of chastity, of you name it. So it was very interesting that that's the one he picked was Maria Goretti.
That's awesome.
Another saint I would suggest to you is he's still a blessed, but is Blessed Pier Giorgio. I talk about him a lot. Pier Giorgio Frassati. This guy was a bro. Look him up. This guy was the dude. He would play pool with his friends in Italy, and he was a pool shark. And he would say, if I win, you're going to go on a hike with me into the mountains. And if you win, I'll do it. I'll give you money or whatever it was. Well, he would always win, and then they'd be forced to go on these hikes with him into the mountains, and he'd talk about his faith. Yeah. And it's the only saint that I'm aware of that in the same glass you see of him or the pictures you see of him, he's got a pipe, and he's smoking a pipe. And he was like a young 20-something-year-old dude. He's a bro.
That's sick.
Yeah. And he gave his inheritance. He was going out every night helping people. He ended up dying because he caught, I think it was tuberculosis from the people he was helping, and he died at a very young age in his 20s. But you look him up when we get off the phone. Look him up. Yeah. Pier Giorgio Frassati was a bro. I mean, this guy was a beast of a guy. So. But that's the thing. They'll have a thing. They'll find you. Okay. My last question I have for you is, what is it you would like to say to a young guy out there who's listened to this, who has heard what you've had to say, but and thinks it all sounds great, and definitely thinks that they want to live that life, but it's great to hear this, it's great to watch this and hear there's other people, but again, the practical side of it. I still have my girlfriend that I'm dating. We've not been chaste. How do I make that work in my life? What do you say to that guy?
I would say that you need to start on a solid foundation first. Don't go thinking that all of a sudden being chaste is going to fix everything. You need to figure out, like I did, why you believe what you believe, why you want to make that change, what's calling you to make that change. And if it's God, make your foundation with God first. Like, just because you're already in a relationship with someone, especially if you're only dating, and I don't mean to demean just dating, but you're not married to the person, you still need to be have a solid foundation yourself before you can go out and commit yourself to someone else. So take a step back. Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you want to make this change? Because if you go to your girlfriend and say, I want to be chaste now, she's going to have questions, and you need to be able to back that up. Well, this is why, and this is why, and this is why, but I believe. So build that foundation from the ground up. Don't just start at chastity, because there's a lot of other things that you need to get in order first. Obviously, I'm not saying continue being unchaste, but you need to build up the foundation first before you try to get that under control, if that makes sense. That sounds bad. Do you know what I'm saying?
It sounds like you're saying, like, keep doing it until you get everything right.
I'm not saying keep doing it.
Avery is not condoning that behavior.
I'm not saying to continue doing it, but you need to have the reason why. Because if you don't have your why, you're gonna give up. I mean, that's just like basic like motivational speaker stuff. But if you're not being chaste because you are pursuing a Christ-like life and you want to pursue God, then why are you being chaste? Because once you get to the point where you're being really tempted and you're about to go to bed with this woman, and you think about why am I being chaste again? If it's not a really good reason, you're not going to be chaste.
Absolutely.
So figure that out.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Daily Divine Mercy. What she has something. Guess what? What is it? Preach. We'll take a couple more questions since we got knocked off, and I see a lot of people haven't come back yet. I pulled today and had a fellow Instagrammer over for dinner. Wow, who'd you have over? Anyone good? That, Avery, that's kind of my thing now, is meeting random people and like just letting them take over your life forever. Oh, Sealy Catholic, they're awesome. Yeah, I know them. But yeah, I don't know if you heard about that, but there's two particular guys. I've talked about them a million times on this before. I want to give them a shout out before I leave this evening. Drew Meredith and Ryan Meredith. I've messaged them. I've highlighted them like 30 times. I can't say it enough. Avery, I mentioned to you earlier, like these are two guys that just randomly showed up in my life 3 weeks ago, and now we've traveled to Europe together. We've done things that people are like friends for decades go to do together.
Yeah.
And just it's have you seen that yourself? And as you become Catholic and you kind of enter into this world where these people like you and I, like we can talk, even though we don't know each other, but because we're already brothers in faith.
Yeah. I've seen that on some level. Because again, I don't have a whole lot of people that are very devout Catholics. I've got guys in my platoon that are Catholic. They're not maybe the best practicing Catholics, but even there's some level of like, okay, well, I can confide in you in this. There's some level of familiarity already.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I'm telling you, right when you finally make that plunge and you come into the church. By the way, for full disclosure, I have offered Avery if he needs a sponsor. If he can't find one at the last minute, I will fly out to. I always take an opportunity to go out to California. But when is it you're looking at? Do you have a date picked out or a time frame? I know you for the wedding.
May or June. Yeah.
May or June.
Yeah.
Great.
I want to do it when Megan's out there. She's had the biggest role in all of this. So definitely before we're married, but after she gets out there. So. Okay. Yeah, mid-May to early June.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Avery, do you have any last words or anything you want to say? Do you want to do a shout out to Megan or?
I mean, no, I'm not really a super philosophical guy. I can't really make any final statements that are gonna blow everyone's minds. But yeah, I mean, just like I said before, have that humility to take a step back and shout me out. Megan, my darling, wonderful fiance. I can't wait to marry her and spend the rest of my life with her and have 15 children with her.
Amen.
But yeah, just have humility. That's the biggest thing. Just you're gonna mess up, you're gonna sin. Have that humility to take a step back and fix whatever's going on, because that's the biggest role in how I got to the Catholic faith.
Absolutely. Well, Avery, I'm going to tell you right now, again, you said you're not a big philosophical person, but I mean this when I say this, don't underestimate yourself. You're living a life and you are bringing people to Christ without even knowing it. That's something I just want you to know is actually true. So just keep doing that, keep being that shining example, and be the husband and the father to your children, your future children that we need. And you might not be in the church completely yet, but you're already doing so much good for the church. And I humbly thank you for that, and just want you to know that you are making an impact. So thank you so much for your time tonight. Just to let you know, I'm gonna do a little thing. Since we got a few more minutes left on this thing, I'm gonna bring Ryan on since he's watching. I saw him, just to talk a little bit about our trip. I think some people have been watching and following along. You want to hear from Ryan, Avery? How
absolutely. I don't know. Hit that X.
Just no, yeah, but wait, one second. I just want to say again, Avery, if you're not following Avery, please follow him. He's got a few less followers than Megan, so let's get him more than her, so that he can be the Instagram celebrity in the relationship as the husband.
We don't do
that. I'm kidding, but thank you again, Avery. I really look forward to it, and I will we'll be in touch and get you some information from some of his friends out there. Okay.
Awesome.
God bless you, man.
God bless.
Now we're gonna bring in Ryan for a second to talk about our trip. Let's see. It was here. Let's see. Requested. He doesn't know I'm doing this, so we'll make it short. Hopefully he's prepared for this. There he is. You knew that was going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I was commenting a lot, but I actually didn't think you'd.
Well, there's a lot less people. There's a lot less people on right now too, so you got it going for you. But again, they're going to watch it. The thing with Instagram is people don't sit by usually and watch lives. They come back and watch them later where they don't have to comment. So,
yeah, I've been watching the whole thing the entire time. I was looking forward to this. You told me about it, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, and I've been following Meg and then followed Avery. I think a couple days later after that, and just kind of watched their story, looked around, and read the posts and everything. It's just been cool to see. Something I'm working on right now in my life. So. Very relatable situation.
Absolutely. So those who don't know, Ryan is the infamous guy that I met randomly at church a few weeks ago in Des Moines, Iowa. He's a senior at Drake, played. He's retired now. He's all washed up now. He's done. He was a soccer player there. What was your position?
I was a striker. So
striker. Okay. And Ryan and his brother and their friend Blake and a couple other friends started a ministry. Again, this random dude shows up at church and like pulls me aside, and we ended up going out for coffee, and then we went from coffee to have drinks, and then we met again when I came through a couple days later, and then a week later we went to Europe together. And I say this humbly for all you watching. I've said this 1,000 times. If you're not following Drew Meredith or Ryan Meredith or Blake Madsen, those 3 guys, you should be following them. They're both amazing. So I pulled you on here just because people have commented 1,000 times about our trip, and they wanted to kind of ask about it. Oh yeah, and also follow the Evangelites. Sorry, which is the group they started. But what you've alluded to me about how God has kind of just been like crazily been active in your life in ways recently that just seems crazy. Like I don't know if that makes sense. Crazily active and crazy. But I'll let you talk.
Gosh, where to start? So yeah, I guess it's, he's always been calling me to live my Catholic faith more. It's been tough, definitely, in college athletics to carry that out. But I've always had that calling, whether it's through mass or Bible studies or rosaries, athlete rosaries, whatever it might be, just been called to live out the faith more. And definitely meeting you. Was it 20? I think it was 22 days ago now. Meeting you, and really kind of being able to ask questions and converse about hot topics and things that I've been thinking about, and not knowing who to ask or where to go to, and being able to go over to Europe and have 5 straight days of conversation about the Catholic faith, and being able to call up a priest at 4 a.m. and ask a controversial question has just been, it's just been very overwhelming in a sense of how much can come just from 3 short weeks of just pursuing Christ on a daily basis, even more than I was. So it's been incredible.
It's one of those things that's got to be careful what you ask for, right?
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. No, I thought I was going to meet this guy and talk to him for about 10 minutes, and 3 hours later we were dreaming things that I couldn't have ever dreamt myself. So it's crazy.
And I will tell everybody, I can't get into specifics, so you all keep asking me about what's going on in my life and where I'm going and what Rich and I are up to stuff. We are in the works with some things, some pretty big things I'm excited to eventually tell you. I'm also excited to tell you that hopefully at some point when that is public, that Ryan will be a part of that, and just pretty pumped to see where God is involved in this. And I saw your comment earlier when she said Maria Gretti, when Megan said Maria Gretti, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
What are the odds, huh?
I was like, she's not gonna say Maria Gretti. Right when she said, like,
she did.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's the one.
So Gail there is the one I told. Remember I told you about the woman that's always busting my chops? She's always sending me stuff. She say I'm 007, that I'm some type of spy. That's why I'm always all over the world. And you can attest that I'm not a spy.
Getting to know you a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see.
Shut up. But so real quick, tell everybody about your Evangelites, the thing that you guys started, kind of just for a minute, just if they don't know about it, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, my older brother and his best friend, the Blake Matson, went up to South Dakota, Standing Rock Reservation, to hang out with the Lakota tribe, and came back just kind of on fire. They noticed the abuse of all kinds, physical, mental, sexual abuse of all kinds to the young adults and kids on the reservation, and realized that using sports as a platform, they could kind of reach the young adults and kind of break the cycle that's been going on the reservations. So we kind of use sports and personal relationships to connect with the young adults. We have a Bible study for the young kids, to kind of just teach them about God and about the Catholic faith, and really just kind of show them through personal relationship how to love God. We're trying to be super consistent. We go up there 4 or 5 weeks every summer. The leadership team takes a trip up there, spring break and winter break if possible. We're on social media, contacting these people, texting them, FaceTiming them whenever we can, just trying to stay more present, to help them feel that they're not alone in their struggle. The biggest thing is just being consistent with them and showing them, rather than just going and preaching. As Avery said, it's not very successful all the time to do that. For people that don't understand the concept of faith, it's hard to tell them about it. You have to show them. Mm-hmm. And we're really trying to do that. And we're trying to empower the local Native Americans just through work projects. We've been building ramps and painting houses and laying down flooring in houses and building showers, handicap showers, which is whatever we can do to make an impact. We're actually going to be able to help out veterans on the reservation this summer, which we're really looking forward to. So we're just doing everything we can to make an impact on the reservation that's lasting.
And that's the thing I want to tell everybody. So I met this guy, and I didn't know Ryan from anywhere, and seemed like a nice guy, super normal, obviously easy to talk to. And then we met again on Wednesday, and you said, I want you to meet my brother and his friend our friend the next day. And they started telling me about this Evangelites. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, whatever. And then I go to their house, and they have this bus that they've paid to have wrapped. That's like really, I mean, it's epic looking. Yes. They have this whole website. Go look them up. I don't know if Blake is watching, can you put the website on there? People can go take a look at it. They're at Evangelites. But just to see, we talk a lot about, striving for holiness in this modern world, but to see this young group of people who are just giving of themselves, they're obviously, you just said your Christmas break, your spring break, summer break, whatever it is, that you're able to go and spend time with these kids and really have the opportunity to do those things. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It's just been a calling that they had, and they shared with me, and it's something that I've grown to love, really, just to help in any way possible on the reservation, and even in the Quad Cities where we're established, doing whatever we can there. It's not all about going out into the world. Obviously, that's a huge thing that you want to do, but you also have to start at home, locally. You have to make an impact there as well. So,
well, Ryan, you're doing amazing things. So, real quick, so you and I met, and then I remember you said when you texted me the next day, you said this has been
one super consistent.
When you texted me the next day, you said this has been the craziest 16 hours of my life.
Yes, it has been.
It
was at that time.
But now it's the craziest 3 weeks of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hopefully going to be the craziest 80 years of my life with this friendship. So
Lord willing, awesome. What do you think of that? Like, so obviously, 2 words, stranger danger. See, that Gale is always busting.
Yeah. I think he was more scared of me than I was of him.
What?
I said I think you were more scared of me than I was of you.
Well, I remember when we met and I got in my car and you told me to follow you to some coffee shop. I called my best friend as a priest. He goes, Austin, that's how people get murdered. I'm like, I could take that guy any day. Believe me, I'm not.
Yeah, we know now.
Too soon. But no, it's one of those things. Like, obviously, your parents like were like, "Wait a minute, this random guy just came to your life, and now a week later, you guys want to go to Europe." Like, what is that? What was that like for you? What was that? What made you want to do that?
I don't know. Just the way we connected in our faith, really. The ability for both of us really to just meet and after 3 hours know so much about each other, to be honest and open and vulnerable after not even knowing you. It all happened so fast, but it was all because we are brothers in Christ. And it's hard to articulate that to someone, especially my parents. I mean, they're Catholics, but it's weird because they're seeing their son meet this old guy.
How dare you?
I had to. This young
and you had
adult.
To say it right when Thomas Cook just came on. His wife just says, "I'm like, great. This guy busts my chops more than Gail does." But continue.
Believe it or not, we are in the same generation. I cannot believe it, but we are in the same generation.
True.
But no,
I make it look better.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Oh, dear. Okay, so continue. Sorry.
But yeah, just being able to articulate to them how easy it is to connect with someone in the faith and to trust them and to love them and to want to grow and to be around them, to travel across the across the Atlantic to Europe for a week's vacation in the middle of the school year. It's hard to articulate that to them, but after a lot of conversation and after meeting you, they got to know you, and
I busted your father's chops immediately.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you were just, I mean, you were yourself, and your authentic self, and it's your actions and my actions, my joy that's come from this situation that really just goes to show like what can come of being unapologetically Catholic.
Absolutely, and that's where, like, listening to Avery's story, like, obviously Megan's the all-star and she's amazing.
Right.
But like listening, I love Megan, but listening to Avery, I mean, that guy's.
Yeah, he's doing some good things, incredible things. So
and he doesn't even realize it. It's
no. Yeah, their stories is awesome. It helped me a lot, really. I learned a lot. I took a lot from it. So if they're still here, thank you guys for being.
I think they might have left because he had to yell at him for something.
Yeah. That's funny.
I think when he made the comment about her in the shorts, she was not having it.
Yeah, you could see her reaction in the chat.
Oh yeah, but no, it's one of those things like, and you know, obviously, it's not uncommon for me to meet people and to travel around and just like you make these friendships that are just you can't find it really anywhere else, and it's
no.
I've told this to you privately, but I'll say it publicly. Like the thing that's helped me a lot, I think, and particularly our friendship with you and with Drew, is you remind me a lot of my brothers. And
yeah,
that has been amazing to see how these normal guys who have just kind of done their own thing can have an impact on someone like me that's a little older and has had different experiences.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And I just think everything, again, is an example. When you let God in your life, crazy stuff happens. And it's actually a lot more fun than it is doing the other stuff.
I know. It's very freeing and very exciting.
Although Ryan is also a bad influence because he texted me earlier today, for those of you that know the horrible thing going on in Paris today, he texted me and said, we should go to Paris this weekend. And I said, don't tempt me. I'm looking up flights right now.
Why not?
I mean, again, there's the world is your oyster. The only thing you're limited by is nothing.
Right. Yourself.
But so just, you know, I've said this before, Drew Meredith is his older brother who is going to med school in the fall. Ryan is finishing up his senior year at Drake and will be going to med school shortly thereafter. But their parents, you're going to med school. You know you're going to med school. Just where are you going to go? That's the question.
Where and when?
Count me into Paris.
Oh, yes. Seriously. Yeah, we got to bring him. We have to.
Oh, Cass, who's Drew? I don't know. Do you know? Do you even know?
Do you even know?
Speaking of trips, Cass, are we going to DC next week or what? But hey, Ryan, this is interesting to have this conversation. Usually I have these conversations with people I don't know.
Right.
So this is interesting. It's kind of weird. It's like a FaceTime, but a bunch of people watching later.
I was not expecting this.
But is there anything else you want to tell people as far as anything we've talked about tonight? Anything you want to just? I'll leave it up to you for any ad lib.
Wow.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to say anything, just up to you. Gail finally said something nice. By the way, Ryan, you've done something that's never been possible. She said a nice thing. She's my Donald Trump.
I guess just don't be afraid. And don't make excuses. Made those a lot, and I've been afraid a lot. And just the past 3 weeks, been challenged by Austin, by my brother, by close friends. And it's just given me a little bit of a glimpse of what it can be like if, we keep using this term, just being unapologetically Catholic. It's given me a glimpse of what it can truly offer if you just follow Jesus with your whole heart and don't let fear stop you, really.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, my friend, I will call you outside of this thing
tomorrow.
But you have a test tomorrow or something?
No, I don't. No test.
Oh, call me tomorrow. I see what you're saying. Okay, so one last thing before we let you go, everybody, before I let Ryan go. You think that they're nice and holy guys from afar. Let me say this. I have never met people right off the bat who have busted my chops more than these two. And Ryan will end every – now Drew's chiming in. Ryan will end every text with, "Love you, Dad." And when we were in Germany, they told people that I was their father. And it was offensive. It's ageist.
A lot of people believe it, too.
Yeah, because people are stupid. That's the moral of the story. Well, Ryan, thanks so much, brother. I'll call you off this thing, but thanks for coming on.
All right, appreciate it.
God bless, brother. Take care.
See ya.
Remove them. Okay, everybody, this has been great. Have a great night. God bless.